I made over $58,000 flipping this one piece of land. Now, let me break down exactly how I did it. We sent out a mailing campaign, roughly 2,500 letters to Santa Rosa County, Florida, and this seller reached out saying he wanted to sell his land. He said he tried selling to other land investors in the past, and nobody was willing to offer him what he wanted. So I took a look at it. I saw that the county had it recorded at just under 2 acres, 1.93 acres. But after looking at it and looking at the neighboring parcels, it looked larger than a 2-acre lot. And I see it's 2 parcels side by side. So when I draw my parcel outlines on the property, I noticed it's not actually recording both of the properties. It's only showing one of the lots is 1.93 acres, but this parcel has 2 lots associated with it. So it's actually almost a 4-acre lot, not a 2-acre lot. So the price the seller was asking was within reason because it really was twice as big as everybody else thought. Every other land investor had moved on from this deal because they thought this was only one lot. Where with just a little bit of due diligence, I saw that this was actually 2 parcels in one. So we gave him the offer price of $65,000. That's what he told us he wanted. We sent it off to a funder. So we never even had to close on it with our own money. We used a funder, and if you have a good deal, there's plenty of funders in the land business. We sent it to the funder, they bought the deal, put it up on the market, and within a week of it being listed, we had multiple offers. We had offers from national builders like D.R. Horton. We had offers from local builders. We had offers from buyers. Everybody wanted this lot because it really was a good deal. Now, we ended up accepting an offer with a local builder after about a week and a half for $129,000. 2 weeks later, we closed the deal and we made about $58,000 on this one flip. Now, the best part about it is I never actually had to put out my own money. None of it. The deal was sent off to a funder. They closed on the deal. When it closed, the funder got paid out. We made the remainder. And this is how we do a majority of our flips in the land space. We never put out our own money for these deals. We always use a funder for these things. But in the land space, there's such an importance with the speed to lead. When we sent this seller a mailer and he responded to us, he actually said he had another parcel he wanted to sell as well. Well, at the time, I wasn't 100% confident in this deal. I was still verifying that it really was 2 parcels. So by the time that we confirmed it actually is 2 parcels and we want the deal, he had already sold that other lead to another land investor. So we lost that second deal. So instead of making possibly $115,000, $120,000, we only made $58,000. But at the end of the day, we are still happy with it. Now, a reason a lot like this is so desirable on the market is because there's so many different things you can do with the lot. You can sell it to a homeowner and they may want to put a home or a homestead on the property. You can sell it to a local builder or a national builder, and they may want to chop up the lot and subdivide it and put a bunch of homes. You can sell it to an investor who just wants to subdivide it and flip the lots. There's so many different exit strategies with a lot like this. So we knew once we bought it, we had a good deal. Now, in the land space, I do want to note there's a couple things we have to look out for. First of all, in counties, especially in Florida, it's super competitive. So we have to be the first to respond to the seller. We have to have good customer service. We have to be willing to agree to their terms. If they want a fast closing, we give them a fast close. If they need time to move their stuff, we give them time. If we aren't able to work with the sellers, they're just going to go to the next land investor. There are hundreds and hundreds of investors, especially in a state like Florida, where they're just going to go to the next person if we're not easy to work with. So even though we got the seller the price that he wanted, we still had to agree to the terms he wanted. He wanted a quick close. He wanted to use his title company. Whatever it was, we're willing to agree to it and we're willing to work with him because we want to make it as easy as possible on the seller. And if it's not easy, they're going to work with somebody else. It's as simple as that. Now, in the land space, it is super, super important that we make sure we do all of our due diligence whenever a lead comes in. Because if I didn't do the full due diligence and really checked the county records and saw this actually is a 4-acre lot, this is a lot that we would have passed on and lost out on $58,000. Every other land investor that this seller tried to work with also lost out on $58,000 because they weren't willing to go through the due diligence to confirm the property records, the zoning, right? Everything there is to know about the lot. So it's super crucial that with every single deal we get, we do all the due diligence we can to make sure we have a full picture of the lot before we buy it. Because there is risk with these lots, right? There's always risk. We're kind of buying a little bit of an unknown. we're not 100% sure it's going to sell for 128, 130,000, right? We're hoping it does, and we're using comps local in the area that it's going to give us a pretty good idea as to what it can sell for. But there still is risk when we buy these lots. So we want to mitigate that risk the best that we can by doing as much due diligence as possible so that nothing comes up on the back end after we've closed the lot. And now we're holding a piece of property that could have had wetlands or could have had protected animals on the property or protected trees on the property, right? This is all stuff that comes up, especially in places like Florida, that we have to be aware of. But as long as we're doing our full due diligence on every single lot, we can mitigate as much of that risk as possible. So that's it for this one. Wanted to give a quick deal review. Like I said, this came from one of our mailing campaigns. We market through mailing, texting, and cold calling. We get deals from all of them. So I think it's helpful to sometimes break down a deal we're doing, showing the numbers behind it, maybe what we learned from the deal, what we would do differently. But if you're interested in learning more, check us out at landflippingsimplified.com. Hop on a call with myself or somebody on our team, and we're happy to talk to you, see how we can further you in the land space or even get your land business started and off the ground. Our team is happy to talk to you.